What is up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's reaction video is Nature's Masterpieces 10 Most Naturally Beautiful States. This should be good.
Yeah, it looks like a good picture already.
It looks like a good picture already. A sunset on a beach, maybe somewhere in California or something like that.
Probably.
Don't know. I'm trying to think of beaches.
Florida, maybe.
Hawaii.
Ooh, could be Hawaii.
Could be somewhere like that. It's
could
already
anywhere on the coast.
It literally could be anywhere on the coast. We've seen loads of beautiful things in America.
Yeah.
But you sometimes forget, when you haven't seen it for a while, you forget, one, how many different beautiful places there is and how beautiful they are. So this is going to be a reminder. This is going to be the 10 most naturally beautiful states. Let us know your top 3 most naturally beautiful states.
Yeah, I guess it's opinionated, isn't it?
Yeah, what do you think number 1's going to be? I don't know.
Naturally beautiful.
The thing is, I want to say California.
I think it's California.
But because of like Hollywood and stuff like that, I think no.
Yeah, but there's more to California than that.
No, I agree.
California.
No, I agree.
I mean, Southern California is beautiful. Like, you know, you got the beaches.
Yeah, definitely.
But then you think like you got San Francisco.
I just think of the
San Francisco Bridge. You got.
There's the road, the coast road. It looks absolutely stunning with the bridges you go over and stuff like that. The bridge, like you said as well.
You got national parks.
But I don't think it's going to be California. I know we just said all that. I think Hawaii's up there. Hawaii has to be up there. And then somewhere, I reckon somewhere very random, like Arizona. I don't know why, I just feel like
Tennessee. Oh, I don't know.
Maybe
somewhere like southern, but
yeah, somewhere southern with a few canyons in there and stuff like that. Maybe in Nevada area, because you got a few canyons in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again,
I think California, because I think the beach will definitely help.
I just think it gets a bad rap sometimes because of that Hollywood, and people go, no, let's go somewhere else for the most naturally beautiful. I may be completely wrong.
No,
I don't know. Oh, Alaska's up there. It's got to be up there as well.
Alaska.
That is literally all natural, isn't it? Like, it's 99% natural, Alaska. So it's going to be interesting. Let us know your top 3 in the comments below. Smash that button, smash that subscribe button. We'd seriously appreciate it. We're recording quite late today because Archie is asleep, which is good.
He is asleep.
Yeah, he won't asleep till now, so we didn't record, but he's asleep, so we're recording. Are you ready to get into it?
I am.
The 10 most naturally beautiful states in America. What have we got?
No sound?
What are the most naturally beautiful states?
No sound at the
Beauty
start.
is subjective, and different people have different
True.
opinions on what makes a state beautiful. However, some states are often considered to have especially stunning natural landscapes, diverse scenery, and unique attractions.
Yep.
And then there's Oklahoma and Kansas. We did a survey where we asked what states people think are the most naturally beautiful states. This, of course, is an opinion. We had about 4,000 respondents. Every state but Oklahoma got votes. Kansas only got 6 and Nebraska got 13. We also had a section in the survey where you could say what the best thing to see was in the state that you'd chosen.
Okay.
Oddly enough, we had a handful of people from New Jersey that suggested we see D's nuts. Today we're looking at the most naturally beautiful states in the US.
I like this video 10 times better than what I was going to like anyway now, because I know it doesn't really matter. It's their opinion at the end of the day, and we're just looking at how beautiful they are. But this is a vote. Did you say 4,000 people?
Yeah.
4,000 people have decided. So that is more of a collective. It's not one person going, yeah, that's the most beautiful state.
Yeah, I get you what you mean, yeah.
That also makes me think, no chance it's California. So I'm banking in right now, as of right now, Hawaii. I'm banking it in.
Hawaii is beautiful.
Yeah.
But you're going off the beach.
No, you know, I'm just the whole place with volcanoes. Oh, they look beautiful. Some of the viewing things. Hawaii's getting banked in. What are you banking in from this moment? Especially now we know that.
I'm banking in California. I'm going to stand strong, but I do think Hawaii will be up there. And I reckon some southern states, top 3, like I'm going. Somewhere like Tennessee, Louisiana, somewhere, I don't know, somewhere down there.
But I like this better now because it's an opinion from everyone.
US. Get it? Got it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 10, Maine. Maine is freaking awesome. It offers a rugged coastline, picturesque lighthouses, and beautiful national parks.
Maine, yeah.
This is an amazing state for hiking and nature photography. The coast here is covered in lighthouses. That's kind of Maine's thing. Lighthouses are very much a tourist attraction in Maine. Now, I know they're not part of nature, but I don't know. It's weird. I've always felt that lighthouses are sort of part of the nature, especially if they've been there long enough. If you ever do visit Maine, don't overlook the forests and the inland lakes. The coast is amazing, but there's a lot more to Maine than just their coastline and their lighthouses. Maine sees a good amount of tourists. According to the Maine Office of Tourism, Maine received an estimated 15.3 million visitors in 2022. Tourism is a major economic driver for Maine, generating about $8.6 billion in revenue in 2022. Supports about 150,000 jobs, directly or indirectly. Now, according to the survey, the people said if you want to see Maine's natural beauty, try Baxter State Park. This is a vast wilderness area in northern Maine, known for its rugged mountains. You also have Mount Desert Island. Mount Desert Island is the largest island off the coast of Maine, and it's home to the Acadia National Park, which is my personal favorite national park, at least one of them. If you go there, especially not during the height of summer, make sure you wear hiking boots that say like Gore-Tex on them or they're waterproof. But the island offers a mix of outdoor activities, and it's got some nice towns too. On Mount Desert Island, you'll find Bar Harbor. If you ever go on a cruise and you stop in Maine, chances are you're going to stop at Bar Harbor, even though the locals ain't too keen on it these days. In the survey of just over 4,000 respondents,
I feel like Maine that is anywhere what gets touristy. If you're a local, it's kind of like, yeah, let's avoid that.
We get it in Jersey, like in the holidays, summer holidays. There are places we'll avoid because
it's probably certain beaches because it would be so busy.
We know there's so many people come over at that time.
So many tourists say it's like, wait, let's just go to a local beach where there's not many people. You can enjoy it and it's not more quiet. Yeah. It makes, it's probably the same with places over there. Suddenly super busy. Yeah, it's nice, but let's go to a quiet place.
Yeah, definitely.
It makes sense.
Over 4,000 respondents, Maine received 103 votes.
Okay.
Number 9, Montana. Montana is known for its vast open plains, rugged mountains. There's that word rugged again. I don't know why I keep using it. And pristine wilderness areas. Montana has Yellowstone National Park, at least part of it. Yellowstone goes over like 3 or 4 states, while most of Yellowstone is in Wyoming. A small portion extends into Montana. The park is famous for its geothermal features that include geysers, hot springs, and the iconic Old Faithful. Wildlife such as elk and wolves roam free in this vast and diverse.
Montana is naturally beautiful because it has the Old Faithful. Because is that part not in Wyoming?
No, but just said it's part of Montana.
Is it?
That's what you just said. They have the Old Faithful.
Oh, I thought it was part of Wyoming.
Yeah, but you got to think Yellowstone is in Wyoming, but it's also in Montana. It's that big.
Yeah, I know it's across the 3.
Yeah.
But I thought the Old Faithful part was in Wyoming.
I've never looked, I don't know. But the way he said that, it sounded like it. I agree with you, you can't say it's Old Faithful if it's not in Montana. You can't say
maybe it is then. I thought it was in Wyoming.
Let us know in the comments. It's made it sound like it was in Montana, but I honestly don't know.
Roam freely in this vast and diverse national park. A majority of the natural beauty of Montana you're going to find on the west side of the state, where the mountains are. The east side of the state, or at least the east 2/3 of the state, that's a lot of open land and prairies. You can find beauty everywhere. That just doesn't have a lot of the really cool things. Most people that are looking to, I don't know, do some photography or, hiking, things like that, they're going to choose the left side of the state. Leave the right side of the state to people that are afraid of heights. Does anyone prefer the natural beauty of the open land, the plains, and the prairie to mountains and streams and creeks and forests and all that? Let me know in the comment section below. I had one person explain it very nicely to me that looking out over the prairie, he was from Iowa, I believe, said it's almost like looking at the ocean. Very flat and peaceful, especially if you're getting out away from the road and all that. It's just relaxing. According to Montana's website, 12.5 million non-resident visitors came to Montana in 2022, spending about $4.4 billion. This created or supported almost 70,000 jobs. The tourism industry is a major economic driver in Montana, and it's expected to continue to grow in the years to come. According to the people on the survey, if you want to see some good natural beauty in Montana, obviously go see Yellowstone, Flathead Lake. Flathead Lake is the largest natural freshwater lake in the western United States, and it is surrounded by beautiful mountains. The state's a popular spot for boating, fishing, and other water sports. You got various rivers like the Clark Fort River. People suggested almost every single one of the rivers. You got to see it. It's also suggested that you go see Bighorn Canyon National Recreation Area.
That's nice.
Now, part of this is in Montana, part is in Wyoming. It's got boating, fishing, things like that. And visitors
that to me does not. I'd never guess that's in Montana. That to me looks southern.
Yeah, it'd be like Arizona or
Mexico. I think that's why I'm saying Arizona, because stuff like that, I just think Arizona. But it just gives me Arizona vibes, not Montana vibes.
Yeah, I know.
But then it's also mental.
I thought Montana was like
Like that.
No, but yeah, and like horseback riding, things like that.
Yeah, I think it is, because it's got that and it's got the other thing.
I just never knew it had any of that stuff.
It's just how big these states are. It is absolutely mind-boggling, guys. Mind-boggling.
And visitors can explore the remains of the historic mining town of Bighorn City. Montana got 145 votes.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's low.
Great.
I bet like number one has like 3,000 votes because everyone's gone for it.
Yellowstone, like we discussed earlier, and the Grand Teton National Park. Everyone knows about these. They are beautiful. Okay. One of the best things I've seen in all my trips was just cruising through Montana on the Amtrak. Get your room, sit there, look out the window, watch those mountains. It is amazing. Driving's not as fun because I like to look out the window. Sure, you get the opportunity to go other places, not just sit on the train, but I like to look out the window, and that, can be deadly when you're trying to drive someplace and see the sights at the same time. Wyoming welcomed an estimated 7.5 million visitors in 2022. That's an 8.5 decrease from 2021. The decrease was attributed to historic flooding at Yellowstone National Park, which forced the park to close for 10 days, but other parts of the park remain closed throughout the summer. According to the people in the survey, if you want to see some natural beauty in Wyoming, try again Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone is the first national park in the world, and it's famous for its geothermal features, which we already discussed, like Old Faithful. And it's also got the color.
You can't collect, but which one are we claiming?
He said just like Old Faithful, didn't it?
Yeah, so which state are we claiming?
I don't know,
because you can't claim that they're both naturally beautiful, because those...
Yeah, I mean, they still both have parts, so it's still beautiful whether you got Old Faithful or not.
That Old Faithful is like one of the main attractions.
Let us know in the comments. Yeah, you might be right with it being in Wyoming then.
I don't know if it is, but which state actually is it?
Go on, make your mind up. Let us know in the comments. We'd appreciate it.
A hot spring called Grand Prismatic Spring. I'm sure you've seen some pictures of that. The pictures look cool, but to see it in person is mind-blowing. You also have Grand Teton National Park and the Snake River, which if you like rafting or you want to get into rafting or try it out, Snake River has more than enough of that. Of course, you can't talk about Wyoming without talking about the Devil's Tower. It's actually Devil's Tower National Monument. Got really famous in the Steven Spielberg movie, Close Encounters of a Third Kind. I got to see this movie when I was like 9 or something. That movie freaked me out, and I always thought something weird was going on behind Devil's Tower. They also got Bighorn Canyon National Recreation Area, which is great for fly fishing, according to Herman's Outdoors. That's a great fishing channel if you ever get a chance. Wyoming got 157 votes. Number 7, the Wolverine State, Michigan. Sadly, by a lot of people, Michigan gets overlooked because of its Detroit situation. You see Detroit, you see Flint, you just think the whole state must suck. Absolutely not. This is a beautiful state, especially when it comes to nature. The state is really defined by its beautiful Great Lakes coastline, offering sandy beaches and stunning sunsets. Michigan is surrounded by 4 of the 5 Great Lakes. They've got Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, and Lake Erie. The state's extensive coastline provides opportunities for beach activities, boating, fishing, and just staring at the water. Michigan has 3,288 miles of shoreline. The only place that has more shoreline in the United States is Alaska. Shoreline and coastline are different. Keep that in mind. Coastline means ocean, which, in case you don't own a map or a globe, Michigan does not touch the ocean. And it's not just the Great Lakes. They have a pond, lake, creek, stream everywhere in Michigan. Just go for a walk. You're bound to run into something. According to the people that voted for Michigan, if you want to see natural beauty in Michigan, you got to go to Mackinac Island.
Wow,
this is one of the biggest tourist attractions in Michigan. This is an island between mainland Michigan and the Upper Peninsula. There are no cars. There are no motorcycles. It's horses, walking, bikes. In town, they have like a hotel.
Exactly like we've got an island just off Jersey called Stork, haven't we?
It's pretty much that.
And they only have, they've got a couple tractors, which is a transport from the harbour to the centre, and that's it.
And they've got an ambulance, but it's on like 2 wheels.
Yeah, 2 wheels, and then it's basically horseback, isn't it?
Horse carriage, yeah.
Horse carriage is mad. So yeah, if you ever come to Jersey, there's always Stork, which is a very old-fashioned. It's very small as well, isn't it? Search it on the map.
It's got one school, but it's like a school that goes from 3 to.
I think isn't there like only 300 people live there?
Yeah, so when we were at school, we went to, like, I think when we were like 6 or 7, we went over to the school and met the kids.
Oh, awesome.
But there was like, the classes are like 3 to 6 year olds.
Yeah.
It's like...
Just everyone joined.
Yeah.
Whatever kids they can get.
11 kids.
Oh, wow.
Of that age group.
Yeah, so that's quite mad. Yeah. That is mad.
walking, bikes. In town, they have like a hotel. Actually, they have a few hotels. They've got a golf course, things like that. But most of this island is wilderness with a lot of shoreline to explore. There's plenty of hiking trails. There's also like mountain biking paths, but there's this really neat bike path that goes along the shoreline of the entire island. You also have the Upper Peninsula, which again, more shoreline and a lot of wilderness. They have some towns and some small cities up there, but for the most part, this is nature. Ottawa National Forest is here. Hiawatha National Forest is there. Also on the Upper Peninsula, they have a place called Porcupine Mountain Wilderness State Park. One person suggested this. I just love the name. Anything named after porcupines, I love. 163 people voted for Michigan.
Low votes again.
Number 6, Oregon. This is another one I'm surprised is all the way down at number 6. I've been to every state, and I've been hiking in a lot of states, and I've driven around a lot of states. My honest opinion is Oregon should be number 3. Amazing coastline, tons of forest, breathtaking mountains, lakes, streams, ponds, everywhere in Oregon. There's a lot of water in Oregon, even though some people claim we're running out of water. It falls from the sky 9 months a year, it seems like. I don't know how this place could run out of water. I love Oregon. I mean, the coastline isn't the coastline like you'd expect the Pacific Ocean. I grew up where it's, shorts and suntan lotion 7-8 months a year, and that's beautiful. It's wonderful. But Oregon's coast is a different type of beautiful. According to Travel Oregon, the Beaver State welcomed 20.1 million visitors in 2022. That's a 26.5% increase from the 15.8 million visitors they saw in 2021. People that voted for Oregon suggested these to see some natural beauty. The Columbia River Gorge. This is obviously a river canyon, basically, created by the Columbia River. If you don't know the Columbia River, a few years back, these two dudes named Lewis and Clark found
Is
their
that
way
like a viewing platform?
I have no idea.
It looks like a viewing platform, doesn't it? But that is quite a nice spot. Let us know in the comments what that is.
That's a nice view.
It also seems like that guy kind of goes down and it's like an underground thing. I don't know. Or it might just be a road. But that is a stunning view.
That must be
just been on there, having a picture on there or something like that. I can't tell if it's just a road. Can't tell if it's an actual thing underneath. But yeah, interesting. Cool. Yeah, very interesting. By the way, Archie's dreaming. We're not ignoring him. We can see he's fast asleep. So if he is making noise, if he is quiet, we'll go straight to him. But he's just dreaming. Alright guys, the camera died. We are back. So it may look a little bit different. I don't know if it's in the same position or not. You ready to carry on?
I am.
Let's crack on.
River canyon, basically, created by the Columbia River. If you don't know the Columbia River, a few years back, these two dudes named Lewis and Clark found their way to the Pacific Ocean down this river. There's too many waterfalls to name them all in the gorge. But the one that everyone knows and everyone's seen pictures of is Multnomah Falls. I love the backstory to this waterfall. Obviously, it's a legend, but according to the legend, a tribe called the Multnomah tribe, obviously that's where it got its name, was dealing with a sickness or a plague, and the tribe was dying. A young woman, I've also heard a young Indian princess, sacrificed herself to the Great Spirit to save the Multnomah village from the plague. She did this by jumping off a cliff, and the Multnomah people were saved. After her death, water began to flow from above the cliff, creating the waterfall. This waterfall was actually mentioned in the journals of Lewis and Clark. Other places people suggest you see to capture some natural beauty in Oregon: Cannon Beach. Cannon Beach is a town, and right outside they have Haystack Rock. Again, mentioned in Lewis and Clark's journals. This is a giant rock just offshore. It's like in the waves, and it's shaped like a giant haystack. Oregon Dunes National Recreation Area is great. Silver Falls State Park is suggested, and so is Crater Lake. Obviously, Crater Lake, it's one of the most known things in Oregon. One I really enjoy is Mount Hood. It's outside of Portland, probably about an hour drive away. A little more, a little less, depending on the traffic. It's beautiful. 220 people voted for Oregon.
Ooh, that's still low though.
That is still low.
Number 1 must have all the votes.
Number 5, Utah. You know, I don't think a lot of people realize how beautiful Utah is. You know, you see the pictures and it kind of looks like a desert, kind of a mountainous desert place. And then you see the Salt Lake. The Salt Lake's kind of interesting, but it's really not that attractive. I've been there. smells like battery acid. But what a lot of people don't understand is they have the mighty 5. Utah is home to 5 national parks, and these are great national parks too. Zion, Bryce Canyon, Arches National Park, Capitol Reef National Park, Canyonlands National Park. This draws people in. Utah received 17.8 million tourists in 2021. There's no official data yet for 2022. I don't know why, but it is estimated that the number of tourists will be similar or slightly higher from the 2021 numbers. One other thing that people mention, which it's technically not in Utah, it's on the border with Arizona, but Monument Valley. Monument Valley is right there. Some of the rock formations are in Utah, like Bear and Rabbit Summit, King on His Throne, and one called Big Indian. If you don't know what Monument Valley is, watch any 1950s Western. Some cowboy always rode through there. 225 people voted for Utah.
Nice.
Again, still low votes though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like 4,000 people.
Colorado. So every time I think about a state, you know, it's like I think Oregon should be in the top 5, and then you're all, well, Colorado's pretty good. They belong in the top 5. You know, it's very confusing for me. But a lot of people really like Colorado. I'm one of them. Colorado is famous for its Rocky Mountains, national parks, and scenic vistas. Colorado claims that they saw 90 million visitors in 2022, but they have another category where about 40 million stayed overnight. So those are the real tourists that actually came there, didn't just show up for, I don't know, a football or baseball game and leave. This is according to the State Tourism Board. Tourism in Colorado supports about 176,000 jobs. That was in 2022.
Isn't it weird,
those visitors spent $26.1 billion.
And that picture just then of those houses is the same state.
I know, it's mad. It just shows how, well, it shows the seasons, how dramatic they can be. All the seasons, and how big the state is. Look at that image as well.
Like you have, well, yeah. Like, that's on one side of the state, and then you have the snowy mountains on the other side.
No, it's mad. Alright guys, for the 3rd time, lucky. I didn't charge the camera enough, it has died, we're going to bed soon. So we switched to Millie's phone.
Yeah, hopefully it's good.
Yeah, so this camera angle is definitely different. Let's crack on with reaction. It's destined not to happen, but we're making it happen. It's been a good one so far. Let's see what we got.
Those visitors spent $26.1 billion in Colorado in 2022. I like this. I was reading through their numbers. They have this stat broken down to how much it saves each household in Colorado. Because if these people wouldn't have dumped their $26.1 billion here, they would have had to make up that money and basically tax people. So each household saved $763.08. Now, the people that selected Colorado suggest the obvious, Rocky Mountain National Park. There's a lot of ways to see the Rocky Mountains. I've driven through them. I've hiked in them. I've camped a couple nights in the Rocky Mountains. One of my favorite ways that I did a few years back was taking the Amtrak train through the Rockies. Nice, relaxing, had a little lunch, watched the Rockies. But the Rocky Mountain National Park is located in the northern part of Colorado, and it features mountain landscapes, alpine lakes, diverse wildlife. You have Trail Ridge Road, which is a scenic drive that takes visitors to high elevations and gives you breathtaking views. People suggested Garden of the Gods, which is right outside Colorado Springs. You have Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve, Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. That one's pretty cool. And of course, if you're spending any time in Colorado, you gotta drive up Pikes Peak. You could also take the Cog Railway that goes up Pikes Peak. 285 people voted for Colorado.
It's going to be 2,500 for number 1. I suppose if it's the most natural, everyone's going to go for it.
Number 3, Alaska. If you didn't know Alaska was going to be on this list, you are sadly ill-informed. I would suggest a steady stream of Discovery Channel. Or what's that thing? Curiosity.com. I got that. It's an app. This isn't a promo. I don't even know these people, but I watch that all the time. Very interesting. But I've been to Alaska several times, a lot in the last year or two, doing cruises and stuff. I've been fishing in the Kenai Peninsula and a few other places. While researching the stats for tourism in Alaska, I didn't find much outside the cruise industry. They see a lot of cruise ships every single year, but during the pandemic, it really killed these towns. I talked to some of the locals there, and they were telling me how bad it was.
Yeah, I know quite a few people that have been on cruises and they've stopped in Alaska.
Stopped in Alaska. Yeah, I knew that. Awesome.
Was. Now, it wasn't as much Alaska was stopping these people from coming through. They were more than willing to let the people in. But there's this strange law that's been around, I think, since the 1800s, where if you're a pleasure craft, which a cruise ship is, you have to go to another port in another country. You just can't go from one port in the United States to another. So they had to go to like Vancouver, Canada, or something like that. But Canada wasn't.
Yeah, I know.
I think of just snow everywhere.
Just snow everywhere, but that's kind of like an autumny vibe to it, doesn't it?
People live there.
So it's so big as well, isn't it? It's got different seasons. I think in some areas it can get quite warm. Sometimes. You know what I mean?
Summer.
Yeah, like some certain days it can be quite correct.
And I guess maybe more in the middle, like more inland you get.
No clue. Let us know in the comments. Let us know.
Like Vancouver, Canada or something like that. But Canada wasn't letting any cruise ships in. So about halfway through the recovery, I guess you could say, from the pandemic, the downward slope of it, if you will, the United States passed a thing that said, we're going to suspend that law right now. You don't have to stop in a Canadian town. This is how drastic the cruise ship visitor drop was. In Southeast Alaska, where all the cruise ships go to, they saw 1.3 million passengers in 2019. 2018, they had seen 2 million. In 2020, they saw 48 passengers. That's it. In 2021, I was one of the 124,000 that showed up at the ports in Alaska. Yeah, I went back as soon as they were letting us on, and, everyone was masked up. The good news is the 2022 season was a recovery year. They got to 1.15 million passengers. And it's my understanding they're killing it in 2023. Every cruise ship is at capacity.
It's on its way up. That's what you want to see, the tourism and stuff like that. But that just shows how mad COVID was in terms of, like, we're not going to get into whether people think it was right or wrong or whatever, but in terms of the world stopped, the fact that a country which were getting over 1 million every year, had 2 million the year before, went to 48. That's the and then it went back up after, but it just shows how much the world stopped.
Crazy.
2 mil to 48.
It's crazy.
That literally just sums it up there, doesn't it? What a mad time.
They're killing it in 2023. Every cruise ship is at capacity right now. But of the people that voted for Alaska, a lot of them mentioned the Inside Passage, which is where you'll find Ketchikan, Juneau, Haines, Skagway, Hunan, which is Icy Strait Point, and Sitka. If you do take a cruise, everyone suggests you take one that goes to Glacier Bay National Park. Not all cruises to Alaska are equal. They only let a certain amount into Glacier Bay. So make sure the one you're going to is going there, or at least to the Dawes Glacier. I think my favorite after Glacier Bay is Tracy Arm Fjord. That one's pretty cool. Everyone that suggested a place to go for Alaska was a cruise. One person noted one of the major things in Alaska, which is Denali National Park and Preserve. 296 people voted for Alaska.
That's number 3. Wow. Only 296. I mean, that was beautiful, by the way.
Number 2, Hawaii. I don't think many people realize how beautiful Hawaii is. I mean, they know about the beaches, but they don't know how beautiful the rest of the islands are. Tropical rainforests, waterfalls, volcanoes. And yes, of course, stunning beaches. Hawaii normally sees between 8 and 9 million tourists every single year, and 2022 was no exception. They saw 9.2 million visitors. So this was really strange. The people that voted for Hawaii couldn't seem to get off the beaches. That's what they kept suggesting. Honolulu, go to Honolulu, do this. And it was always the beaches. They even talked about Hanauma Bay, which was just our most dangerous swimming hole video. Hanauma Bay is pretty cool. There's some problems that come with it. Probably the biggest problem is you got to get online to buy a ticket to get in. They only let a certain amount of people in. I think that's still the thing. Mad. One that wasn't mentioned, I think everyone should see, is Waimea Canyon. That's, take a good camera. That's beautiful. And then, of course, Diamond Head. Everyone suggests you hike to the top of Diamond Head. Yeah, it's got a great view, great place to take a picture, but can you take that picture? This is my problem with Diamond Head. It could be one of those memes, what you thought it was going to be versus reality. They always show those for like cruise ships. It shows what I thought it was going to be, and this woman in a nice dress, her and a man are having champagne on their balcony with the sunset. And then they show the reality. They're like in a buffet line behind 6 gentricarians wearing fanny packs. Well, that's what it is at Diamond Head. You get up the top, you think you're going to be alone, you think you're going to get this great picture, but there is a mass of people. It's like being in the pit at a Taylor Swift show. Everyone's nice, but they're elbow to elbow.
I suppose it just shows how good it is, though, because everyone wants to go there.
Everyone wants to be there, yeah.
But unfortunately, that is a lot. With a lot of touristy places.
It's like Times Square. You won't get a picture of Times Square on your own.
Yeah. We got close to it because we went like 6 a.m. Why were we there so early?
Because... I'll tell you why.
Tell me why.
Because our flight basically was meant to leave London.
A short one, because this is a long video.
Our flight was meant to leave London in the morning. We didn't leave London until night time, which means we got to New York about 10 p.m. But we decided it'd been a long day. We'll just go straight to bed. We'll get up early.
And we did that.
And we got up at 6 a.m. Went out to Times Square, and it wasn't dead, but it was dead for New York.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
we managed to get a picture on the steps, and there's no one in the background.
Yeah, there's no one in the background, which is
like
awesome.
Facing the steps, not facing.
So we're going up there at 6 a.m.
I'm not.
One's nice, but they're elbow to elbow, and everyone's trying to get a selfie. But the insane amount of waterfalls that Hawaii has throughout, every single one of the islands just has a ton of different waterfalls. 341 people voted for Hawaii.
A little bit, but not much.
So number 1 must have over 2,000.
All right, before we get to number 1, did you know we sell t-shirts? There is a link right below the video. You see a picture of a t-shirt. We sell those. That's how we support the channel.
Subscribe
One of the ways, I should say. We're in the middle of making new ones too, so that could be cool. All right, on to number 1.
Oh, drum roll, please.
And number 1, California. Yes, of course it's California. California has a truckload of problems. Actually, they got 4 or 5 truckloads of problems. One problem they don't have is not having nice things to see. There were about 50 suggestions, different places. There's about 50 other ones that I would suggest. I was born and raised in Southern California, moved up to Northern California when I was in my 20s, late teens, I should say. I have been all over that state and I've seen some amazing things. And I'm not even talking about the homeless guy I once saw chasing people around with no pants and a 2x4. And if you want some proof that California has a lot of things to see, not everyone's going to Disneyland, okay? But they get a lot of tourists. And a lot of those tourists find their way to some of the national parks, the state parks, the coastline. In 2022, California saw 268 million domestic visitors and almost 18 million overseas visitors. Now, one interesting thing about that is California sees almost 400 million visitors every single year. But a good portion of those are just doing layovers, like going to Hawaii, going to Japan, something like that. In 2023, total visits to California are expected to reach 278 million. Okay, here's the things you have to see, suggested by viewers and people that voted, when you visit California. Napa Valley, yes. Napa Valley is one of the world's premier wine regions. It's known for its vineyards and its wineries. They got tours and all that good stuff. Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe is one of the most beautiful lakes I've ever seen in my life. It's right there on the California-Nevada border, so if you're done with the lake and you're bored, you can go right across the border and do some gambling. You have Sequoia National Forest, the Redwoods, Death Valley if that's your thing, Joshua Tree, and of course, the king of nature in California, Yosemite National Park. Yosemite is one of the most famous national parks in the United States, known for its iconic granite cliffs, waterfalls, and ancient sequoia trees. Half Dome and El Capitan are popular rock formations that attract rock climbers from around the world. The park offers hiking trails, camping, breathtaking scenic views. And if you ever do visit Yosemite and they're offering a tour, take the tour. It's totally worth it. Very interesting how that park came about and all that. Oh, it's an amazing story. And if you don't make it up to Yosemite, Ken Burns did a documentary for PBS where he talked about the national parks. It's called The National Parks, America's Best Idea. One of the episodes is on Yosemite, and it is well worth watching that if you ever get a chance. It was on Netflix for a long time. That's where I watched it. Actually, I was working at Netflix when I watched it there. I didn't get much work done. Now, one that nobody mentioned that I think is worth mentioning, go to Big Sur. Big Sur is a rugged stretch of California coastline along Highway 1. Has insane views of the cliffs,
Redwood
Fort.
This is what I was saying at the start. I know I said I didn't think California was going to be up there, mainly because I just had the opinion that people would be like, it may be the most natural, but we're not going to do it because of Hollywood. That's me being naive and stupid, obviously.
Yeah, it's funny because Hollywood's not even been mentioned, has it?
Well, it isn't natural, is it? It's not natural one bit.
It's definitely like,
it's a tourist attraction, not a beauty. But it just shows how much beauty there is in California. But I just thought there'd be a case of avoid it because of that, but obviously not.
People that don't live in California or even in America, before we do these videos, we all presume California is Hollywood the whole way. Like
Hollywood, a lot of it, definitely.
I feel like if you said to me California when I was like 10...
You just think of Hollywood.
I would just think that the whole state is just famous rich people.
Well, now we know to do.
Now we know it's so much more than that, but I think that's just perception you get from movies and things like that, isn't it? That's
just the influence. But that coast road, like you're saying now, I mean, I mentioned at the start, it looks absolutely stunning. We've got to drive on it one day.
Yeah.
One day, 100%.
California coastline along Highway 1 has insane views of the cliffs, redwood forests, and the Pacific Ocean. This is a popular area for people that want to just get great pictures and take a scenic drive. 353 people voted for California.
It's 4,000 votes.
Well, yeah, but I don't know.
All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Which state?
Oh, there's votes for the states as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
It's not just the top 10.
Yeah, I was like, the math does not add up.
there were 6 for some states, 13.
Yeah, I suppose. Oh, I don't. To be fair, then that is very split because we're only getting like 200 for a few of them. 100. I was thinking we're going to get at least 2,000 for one of them. Obviously not.
No.
Smash that if you enjoy, guys. Smash the subscribe button. Some could have easily swapped by 1 or 2 votes as well. So it would be interesting if there was a poll and 10,000 people did it.
Yeah, if California wouldn't be the top.
Maybe not. Maybe Alaska gets higher. Maybe Hawaii gets higher. It's all personal opinion. So let us know your top 3 in the comments below. Enjoy that.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, the US is just stunning, isn't it?
It is because this is why it's so hard to pick one state to travel to.
It's mad, isn't it? And we still haven't picked it.
We still haven't picked it.
I hope you enjoyed the video. I may have done a lot of editing in this because there's been a lot of cuts in terms of the camera dying, stuff like that, and switching. But hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, watch the video.
Have a fantastic day.
And we'll see you, legends, in the next one. Peace.